Pirkay Avot, Ethics of Our Fathers, Chapter 5, Mishnah 10 and 11. Mishnah 10 opens up with Arba Midot Adam. There are 4 categories or measures of man. And then it goes on to describe 4 different ways of thinking about one's own property and one's friend's property. One who says, what's mine is yours and what's yours is mine. One who says, what's mine is mine and what's yours is yours. One who says, what's mine is yours and what's yours is yours. And one who says, what's yours is mine and what's mine is mine. Then Mishnah 11 begins with Arba Midot B'Deot. There are 4 measures within Deot, within characteristics or temperaments. And there it describes 4 different ways of dealing or handling anger and appeasement. Slow to anger, slow to appeasement. Quick to anger, quick to appeasement. Slow to anger, slow to appeasement, slow to anger, and quick to appeasement. Now, what's interesting is the way in which these categories are introduced. Mishnah 10, which discusses the way one views property, is introduced with Arba Midot Ba'adam, and the way in which we introduce the second Mishnah, Mishnah 11, which describes different ways of getting angry or being appeased, is referred to as Arba Midot B'Deot, 4 categories within Deot, within characteristics. Now, the truth is, at the surface reading, both of these Mishnahs could have been introduced with Arba Midot Ba'adam, there are 4 measures in man, and both of these Mishnahs could have been introduced with Arba Midot B'Deot, there are 4 categories in temperament or characteristics. So why specifically when it comes to the issue of property, it says Arba Midot Ba'adam, and with respect to the issue of anger and appeasement, it's introduced with Arba Midot B'Deot. So let's begin with Adam. We know that human beings are referred to in Hebrew by 4 different names: Adam, Ish, Enosh, and Gever. And each of these names connote a different faculty within the human experience. Adam refers to one's intellectual capacity. And therefore, perhaps what the Mishnah is saying is if one finds himself in one of these 4 categories, let's say, for example, one finds himself in the worst of the situations, where he says, what's mine is mine and what's yours is also mine. So how does he change that? He wants to elevate his status so that he starts to view like the highest level, where what's yours is yours and what's mine is yours. And therefore the Mishnah is saying this is dependent on Adam. It's dependent on your intellectual view of the world. Number 1, somebody else has property, it's theirs. Now number 2, my property is a gift from God, and therefore certainly I can share it. So in order to change from one category to another, it's a question of my perception of the world, Adam. Now, the next Mishnah, which discusses my anger and appeasement issue, if I want to change, if I want to elevate, if I were, God forbid, somebody who were quick to anger and slow to appeasement, and I want to change that characteristic, I want to get to the point where I am slow to anger and quick to appeasement, the highest level. There, says the Mishnah, is dependent on Deot. Now, Deot we described earlier as characteristics or temperament, but the word Deot comes from the word Dat, which means knowledge. We know from Chassidus that Dat is not merely the acquisition of information, but rather, to what degree do I really connect with the ideas I know? Emotions are born out of Dat. How connected am I to what I intellectually understand? So if I intellectually understand, I shouldn't be quick to anger. That isn't enough. I have to truly connect to that idea. There has to be an emotional attachment to the idea, to the point that the idea becomes one with me, and then I can truly change my anger or appeasement. And therefore, both of these things are required. One has to elevate their Adam, elevate their perception of reality, and secondly, and perhaps more importantly, one has to change their Dat. One has to really connect and feel the ideas they already know are true. And that results in a change in my temperament, in my reaction and emotions, anger and appeasement.